Alright, in this video I just want to explain and show you how to make media for growing microbes and how easy it is to actually do this nowadays. So most of you probably have made brownies or muffins from a box and you have all the ingredients except you may have to add an egg or something and some water or milk, but that's pretty much it. And nowadays it's just as easy to make microbial media. There is an old manual that's been going back to 1927, I think, when the first edition was issued, and it's a collection of media, and you can see that all the ingredients are listed, and nowadays you can find it as a PDF online. Still a very valuable resource. They started making media with solid agar, like solid media, in the 1880s when Fanny Hesse had a friend from Japan, from Asia, and she suggested to use agar instead of jello because agar would be solid at body temperature at 37 degrees Celsius. So that's when they really started making solid media, and it was a huge breakthrough to culture organisms, grow them, and then analyze them specifically. So nowadays you can just buy the media. There are different companies out there, and you basically read the instructions, you know what's in it, but it usually just tells you how many grams of the media you need to weigh out to put in a liter of water, and then you can adjust it accordingly. Everything is pre-mixed, so it's pretty straightforward. You have to pay attention. One says agar and the other one says broth, and the difference is that one is to make plates, so it's solid, and if it says broth, it's just a liquid medium. For example, this one is a liquid medium and this one is solid agar. If you have a broth medium, you can also add separate agar and then make plates out of it. Another type of agar what's used nowadays is chrome agar, which is usually proprietary, and that's really interesting because the agar itself has color molecules in it that when a specific organism grows, it has a specific color. So you don't have to do a lot of follow-up tests. You can just look at the color on the media, and it's a very rapid diagnosis and identification. So there are different types of these media out there, which is commonly used, especially in the clinical laboratories nowadays. So to make the media, you just take a weighboard, you take a scale, then you take a weighboard, you calibrate your scale, and then you measure the certain amount of what you need of your powder and put it on the scale and weigh it out. Then you just mix it with water. Usually these flasks are used, and you don't want to fill it up with too much water because then it can boil over. So keep it, if you have a 1 liter flask, probably put only about 500 or 750 milliliters in it, otherwise you use a bigger flask. You label everything what you use, you should know that by now, and then we use autoclave tape, and you can see that before autoclaving it has white stripes, and then after autoclaving it has black stripes. So that's an indicator that your autoclave had the right temperature. Another way to prove that, and we test every month for our autoclaves to work properly, are little indicator tabs that have a bacillus spore in it, and it only gets killed when it's at a certain temperature. So you incubate it, you put it in an autoclave, and you see whether it grows after you autoclave it or not. It shouldn't grow, so it's functional autoclave. So that's really important to make. And then again, you put everything in your flask, put the media in, mix it up properly, put the autoclave tape it, label it, and then put it in the autoclave for a certain amount of time. And then when it's ready, you have to cool it down, and you have empty agar plates, and you fill them up in about 20 to 25 milliliters per plate. That's what goes into each of these agar plates. You let them sit for a while, usually overnight, so that there's not a lot of condensation, and then it solidifies within probably about 10 to 15 minutes. And there are lots of different type of media and different kinds for different organisms to grow. This, for example, is blood agar, and it grows, it's for fastidious organisms, so it is very rich medium, and a lot of organisms grow on this, versus this one is tryptic soy agar, which is also a pretty common media, and a lot of organisms grow on it, but it's not quite as rich as the other one. We do have a couple of other types of media, how we make them. This one, for example, is a citrate slant. You can see how the surface is not flat, it's crooked. So after you pour it, you tilt it a little bit and then let it solidify like that, and then you inoculate with a loop with a little zigzag line. We have liquid media here, and they get autoclaved after they get put into the tube. For some of these tubes, we have little inverted smaller tubes in it. They're called Durham tubes. And the reason why they are in there, because they can trap gas if the organism produces gas. So you put the Durham tubes in the tube, put the media in it, put the cap on it, and then autoclave it, and all the gas will come out. And then if the organism produces gas, you can see an air bubble inside the Durham tube. So these are the main things on how to make media. It's very simple. You just read the instructions and then follow the good practices for making media and using the autoclave. Some media cannot be autoclaved because it has some ingredients that would be destroyed by autoclaving, by the high temperature. And also, if you have media with antibiotics, you have to add the antibiotic as a stock solution after it is autoclaved and cooled down. So lots of little things to consider, but basically it is very simple to make media, and there are lots of ways to grow microbes and identify them. All right, thanks for watching.